What's going on, everybody? It is episode 932 of Pop Culture Crisis. How you guys doing? My name is Brett. I'm here with my co-host. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. I'm mostly recovered now, but it's that thing where you keep thinking it's the last day of being sick every day.
Every day is the last day of being sick.
It might actually be the last day today, but excuse me if I still sound a little bit nasally.
I didn't think yesterday sounded fine. Like, I wouldn't even have noticed until, you just coughed right there.
It was just, I couldn't contain it. I know this isn't a $20 super chat, but I'm going to read it ahead of time anyways. From Shane H. Wilder. Happy Thursday, Brett and Mary. The Ghost Blend came in this morning. It was heavenly. The s'mores flavors meld perfectly with the medium roast. Well, I'm so glad you mentioned
Funny you mentioned
Mary's Ghost Blend, which is currently up on castbrew.com. You can get my custom flavor. It's s'mores flavored. Just in time for Halloween. That's kind of why I'm wearing a Halloween theme shirt today.
Skulls.
The skulls on it.
Skulls.
You can curl up with your sweater and your mug of Mary's Ghost Blend and camp out around the fire and tell ghost stories.
Watch a scary movie.
I have no idea how it tastes, but we have our first review in, so yes. I'm happy with that.
Perfect. All right. Well, you'll love to see it, ladies and gentlemen. So hit the like button on this episode, please, and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. Remember to always be sharing the content out with everybody in your life that you love and hate. I know there's plenty of them on both sides of the aisle that you want to just share these episodes with. It is a fantastic way to help the channel grow, so thank you guys so much for that. So what are we getting into today? We've got a bunch of stuff to talk about. It feels like a lifetime ago that we talked about Assassin's Creed Shadows. You know, every so often a video game topic kind of creeps into the culture war. This is one such issue that's going on right now, as there's these reports coming out about a canceled game in the same franchise. Ubisoft was going to release something called Assassin's Creed Civil War. At least that was the working title that I was reading about.
Was it?
Not official, but you know. Okay. The idea being that you would have a freed slave come back and hunt down KKK members, and the game was canceled due to the political climate that we live in right now. I've seen takes from both sides of the aisle talking about whether this was a good or a bad idea. We'll get into it. We'll talk about it a little bit. We're also going to talk about Nicole Kidman, and we're going to discuss whether, her insatiable need to get freaky on camera is the reason why her marriage fell apart with Cheaty McCheaterson. Keith Urban.
Cheat Urban?
That's his name, Cheat Urban. Look, I don't think it was that, but we'll talk about it. I think the cheating probably played a bigger role in it. So we'll talk about that. That and his hair and the fact that he looks like he's got a permanent straightener on.
People are saying that Keith Urban wears a wig. Yeah. I don't know if that's true, but it definitely, now that you look closer at it, kind of looks like a wig.
He's got the hair of Pete Wentz in 2007. Or I'm sorry, of the lead. Who was the lead singer?
You mean
Fall Out Boy?
Fall Out Boy. Was it not Pete Wentz? It was
what's that guy's name? Patrick Stump.
Yes, yeah.
He's got Patrick Stump hair from 2007. We got a 20 there from Jose Quintana.
Almost missed that. Happy Thursday, Optical Overlord and Ghost Empress. I'm so proud of your newfound coffee grains, Empress. I plan to order at least one as a show of fealty to your empire. Long live PCC. Well, you should order more than that if you're really trying to prove your fealty to me. But one is fine. Yeah. As long as you need one to try it out, and then you're gonna order more after you're done with it.
Those are rookie numbers. Gotta get those numbers.
One?
Out.
I don't know.
Do you even care?
Yeah, do you even like this show? I don't feel validated enough right now.
We are gonna talk about Nicole Kidman, and when we are also gonna talk about Taylor Swift, because rumors are she's losing followers by the hundreds of thousands, and there's some backlash going on right now. I made a thumbnail after the first day we talked about it. I said she's in her backlash era, but maybe she's in her flop era. I don't know. It's sold very well, but she seems to be losing followers because some people aren't taking kindly to her perceived new message, I guess.
She's uncool. She's uncool now, and that's the problem. When people stop hating you and they start finding you boring and uncool.
You never want to be boring.
Yeah.
So we got that. We got a bunch of other stuff. If you're ready, Mary, we can just go ahead and get started. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go for it.
On Monday, country star Bryan came under fire for a new song titled Bad News, in which he name checks ICE raids in a way that a lot of people on the right wing interpreted as condemnatory of ICE, deporting illegal foreigners from this country. And in case you weren't aware already, here were the lyrics in their full context. Didn't wake up dead or in jail. Some out-of-town boy's been giving us hell. I got some bad news. I woke up missing you. My friends are all degenerates, but they're all I've got. The generational story of dropping the plot. I heard the cops came. Cocky MFers, ain't they? And ICE is gonna come bust down your door. Try to build a house no one builds no more, but I got a telephone. Kids are all scared and all alone. The bars stopped bumping, the rock stopped rolling, the middle finger's rising and it won't stop showing. Got some bad news, the fading of the red, white, and blue. So conservatives...
I'm so glad you had to read that and I didn't.
Why? Is it that bad?
No, it's not that. I'm just really bad at reading. I'd have been like, red, white, and blue.
And stuff.
And shit like that.
So conservatives responded to this song extremely negatively, and there were calls to boycott him. DC Drano said, we were just invaded by over 10 million illegal aliens, and who does Zach Bryan cheer for? The illegals. I smell a boycott brewing.
You know that, like, I know that this sounds crazy, but, like, just because of the space we work in, am I crazy to think that, like, your average everyday person, like, have you seen people saying, like, if the government, like, if it wasn't for X, I wouldn't even know that the government is shut down? Like, does the average everyday person pay that close attention? The one who's not on political Twitter or watching political commentators, are they paying close attention to the immigration issue? I have to assume they did, otherwise Donald Trump wouldn't have gotten elected. But I just don't know if it's the issue that the normies, like if it's that issue to normies. Maybe
yeah, well, since you bring that up, it seems like something that Zach Bryan shouldn't include in his lyrics if his fan base is largely apolitical normies, as we covered earlier this week with him. He's not actually biting the hand that feeds him, because the average country music fan is not some hardline Republican.
Not today.
Not like that anymore. He received a swift damnation from many in the White House, including spokeswoman Abigail Jackson. She said, while Zach Bryan wants to open the gates to criminal illegal aliens and has condemned heroic ICE officers, something in the orange tells me a majority of Americans disagree with him and support President Trump's Great American Revival. Godspeed, Zach. And then she was seconded by Kristi Noem, who did this interview about her boycott of Zach Bryan's music.
There we go.
Convicted pedophile here, a couple of criminals here. These are bad hombres, as the president would say. Yet you have major cultural icons, big-time country music superstar. His name's Zach Bryan. He probably has tens of millions of Trump supporters in his audience, and he just released an anti-ICE song. I want to get your response to that, especially given what we've seen today.
I heard that and listened to a little bit of it, and extremely disappointed and disheartened, and actually I hope he understands how completely disrespectful that song is, not just to law enforcement, but to this country, to every single individual that has ever stood up and fought for our freedoms. He just compromised it all by putting out a product such as that, that attacks individuals who are just trying to make our streets safe. So, Zach, I didn't listen to your music. I'm happy about that today. Today that makes me very happy that I never once gave you a single penny to enrich your lifestyle if you truly believe what that song stands for. But I am going to go out and probably download some Jason Aldean songs, John Rich songs.
She's going to try that in a small town.
Yeah.
Kid Rock.
Party, Kid Rock, any of those guys know what it means to stand up for freedom. So,
Okay.
I didn't waste any money on Zach.
A follow-up, Secretary. Zach Bryan does big shows and is protected by law enforcement a lot, right? Probably protected by some federal law enforcement, local, and so on. Seems relatively disrespectful to go after federal law enforcement in this song.
Well, that's what's so special about law enforcement, is that they don't pick and choose who they defend when they do their jobs. They will even defend and protect people that don't respect them or stand up for them. So that's who I'll point to when I tell my grandkids to grow up like some.
Okay.
You looked skeptical at certain moments.
It feels very post 9/11, rah, rah, rah. you know, whatever. She's got that dog in her. I get it.
Sensitive subject, Brett.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So not just these public figures, but a lot of people online.
She doesn't listen
dragging...
to Kid. She doesn't listen to Kid Rock.
What does she listen
to? She
to?
doesn't. I said this the other day.
She wasn't in the Spotify leaks.
It was like when Harry Sisson posted like the thing of Jimmy Kimmel and the other and Stephen Colbert. It's like Trump fears this the most. I'm like, okay, come on, like this is partisanship. I'll stop. I won't pretend that I listen to Kid Rock in 2025, and you don't pretend like Jimmy Kimmel is funny, and we'll all be better off for our honesty. Okay?
So true.
Like, don't. Just don't.
What do we think Kristi Noem listens to? Does she even listen to music?
She probably listens to music. Oh, I saw somebody compare the situation to like the Dixie Chicks in the early 2000s. That's a fair comparison with the Dixie Chicks and their like anti-Bush stance and all this stuff. It just feels like history is repeating itself all over again in a way less interesting way.
It's not even charming or nostalgic.
It's not charming. Like, I don't even get any freedom fries out of this. There's nothing to be gained here.
Well, as I said earlier this week, the problem with Zach Bryan isn't really even his purported political beliefs. It's that he is just tragically stupid.
And he backs down.
And nutless.
Like that's the thing. Like, I'm actually okay. Like, look, not everybody wants to be like known for their political takes, like, or even their controversial takes. Remember, like you said, he criticized Taylor Swift a little bit and then like locked his account because he doesn't want to get into fights with people and it's not his thing. I get that 100%. So then don't do it. It's like there's this inability today for people to have any level of impulse control. And it's actually worse here because it's like, I don't like it, but I get it. Sometimes like you get on X and you're like, you know what? Fuck this person specifically, and you post about it. Whatever. That's like a very low barrier to entry. But somebody had to write a song. They had to go to a studio and perform it. It had to be mixed and produced. Like, if you're not gonna like stand on what the lyrics mean, then why would you record them at all?
And unlike his little run-in with the Swiftie fan base, he can't come back from this and say that he was drunk when he posted it. This was premeditated, and he couldn't stand for the message of the song. Ultimately, he posted on Instagram basically walking back the message of the song. Here was his post in full. I wrote this song months ago. I posted this song 3 months ago as a snippet. This shows you how divisive a narrative can be when shoved down our throats through social media. This song is about how much I love this country and everyone in it more than anything. When you hear the rest of the song, you'll understand the full context that hits on both sides of the aisle. Everyone using this now as a weapon is only proving how devastatingly divided we all are. We need to find our way back. I serve this country, I love this country, and the song itself is about all of us coming out of this divided space. I wasn't speaking as a politician or some greater-than-thou asshole, just a 29-year-old man who is just as confused as everyone else. To see how much shit it stirred up makes me not only embarrassed, but kind of scared. Left wing or right wing, we're all one bird and American. To be clear, I'm on neither of these radical sides. To all those disappointed in me on either side of whatever you believe in, just know I'm trying my best too, and we all say things that are misconstrued sometimes. Everyone have a great day, and I love each and every one of ya. And then he added a P.S. The last few months of my life, I've been scrutinized by more people than I ever thought possible. I feel like I've tried my hardest in so many ways, and it's so hard to see where my bearings even are anymore. Been falling off a cliff while trying to grow wings at the same time. I'm so proud to have served in a country where we can all speak freely and converse amongst each other without getting doxxed or accosted on the internet or worse. The violence and heartbreak we have faced in the last few months. Godspeed, ol' sons, I'm out.
That conversation about like we should all be able to talk without all those things happening, that was never reality. That was the reality of the neighborhood you lived in and your conversations with people in the real world. From the moment social media like jumped into the existence of the world in your phone, it's been divisive. And it will never not be that way because there is no humanity on the other side of the line, meaning that they don't see your humanity. You know, I can look at what you're doing here and say that you're, you know, assuming, I don't know if he wrote this song, but if he wrote the song, he's an emotionally, you know, he's an emotional person. He wrote a song that, you know, admittedly, we don't know the whole context of it. So maybe it does do something in verse 2 that talks about, I don't know, you know, drug runners from another country and talking about like the evils of that. Maybe he does that. I doubt it. But the point being is that, you know, I can look at that and assume that there's some humanity there that's just getting lost in translation in the art. And that's fine. But most people aren't going to give you that much nuance to it because they don't see you as a person. They see you as some type of symbol for whatever they want to believe, which is what they were doing as soon as he posted this. Like, are you kidding me? This guy's great. He got drunk and like told cops to shut the fuck up. They're like, it's all so tiresome.
I think he's just too stupid to explain his art. It reminds me of when Sabrina Carpenter was like asked to explain her album cover and the meaning of it, and she just proved to the world that she's clearly not that bright, which is fine for an artist. You don't need to be smart. Some of the best musicians are kind of, you know, dim, and that's okay. But don't try to make it like more deep than it actually is. And if you're going to put a politicized statement into your song, don't walk it back the next day when people are threatening to boycott you.
And as we've learned, it sucks, but it's a fact of life that when you try to make everybody happy online, you end up making nobody happy for the most part. So, which sucks because that encourages people to be over the top, divisive, and pick sides and turn, I guess, politics in this case into some type of team sport, which isn't fun. It's not interesting. It's not enjoyable. It's just depressing.
I think he's just like most creative people lacking in impulse control, and we know that much from his messy personal life that has been publicized.
Yeah. All right.
Let's talk about a better country star, though.
Let's do that.
So earlier this week, Dolly Parton's sister, Frida, posted a picture of Dolly praying, and she has these praying hands, and she captioned it on Facebook, asking fans for prayers amid health challenges that Dolly is facing. She said, "Last night I was up all night praying for my sister, Dolly. Many of you know she hasn't been feeling her best lately. I truly believe in the power of prayer. And I've been led to ask all of the world that loves her to be prayer warriors and pray with me. She's strong, she's loved, and with all the prayers being lifted for her, I know in my heart she's going to be just fine. Godspeed, my sis Dolly. We all love you."
I love the boomer brain of not understanding the like the gravity of what you just posted.
She posted this thinking that it was just gonna kind of
people are like, "Oh, shucks,
be a positivity
hope she's okay."
post. Like that, this was met with mass panic because immediately what people assumed is that Dolly Parton is on her deathbed
because her husband just died recently, and
that is true.
that's very common for people who've been married for a long. Okay, I don't know about how very common, but it happens.
It does
when you've
happen.
been married for a long time and you're aging, you will sometimes they call it literally broken heart syndrome. You die because you know the one you love is passed on.
And she's 79. But yeah, after this post was met with so much panic online, her sister followed it up, saying, "I want to clear something up. I didn't mean to scare anyone or make it sound so serious when asking for prayers for Dolly. She's been a little under the weather, and I simply asked for prayers because I believe so strongly in the power of prayer. It was nothing more than a little sister asking for prayers for her big sister. Thank you all for lifting her up. Your love truly makes a difference." So, I don't know, she caught a cold or something. It wasn't actually that big of a deal, but predictably, the internet responded with AI-generated images of Dolly Parton dying. And in this one that went viral...
Why is Reba McEntire in this photo?
Reba McEntire is sitting at her bedside crying.
Is that her daughter? Is she the single mom who works too hard?
And Dolly the AI Dolly is laying in bed, looking emaciated, with tubes up her nose.
And who's this doctor supposed to be in the background?
Creepy doctor standing in the background.
You know how you know it's not real? It's because the doctor only has one pen. Okay? No doctor would only have one pen.
But Reba just looks absolutely heartbroken over this. So sad.
Yep.
And Dolly Parton ended up seeing this photo. online. I just feel like Dolly Parton is someone who never should have been exposed to what the internet is in 2025.
Yeah.
But here we are. Like, imagine that. Imagine you go through the majority of your adult life. You don't even have smartphones. You don't even have cell phones for the majority of your adult life. And then you end up in this situation where social media explodes and then AI becomes a thing and people are using it to fabricate your death. And then you have to post a video explaining to the world that you have not died, which is what she did. Let's show that announcement that, you know, she's still alive.
Bring your camera over here. I want to say something. Well, today's October the 8th, and obviously I'm here doing some commercials for the Grand Ole Opry, which is why I'm dressed kind of like a country western girl. But before I got started, I wanted to say, I know lately everybody thinks that I am sicker than I am. Do I look sick to you? I'm working hard here.
This feels fake to me.
Is this also AI?
It's got like a long, it's got a wide lens that just doesn't seem real.
Well, I mean, there's not
Anyway,
much about
I wanted to
Dolly's
put
appearance that
everybody's
is real.
mind at ease, those of you that seem to be real concerned, which I appreciate. And I appreciate your prayers because I'm a person of faith. I can always use the prayers for anything and everything. But I want you to know that I'm okay. I've got some problems, as I mentioned, back when my husband Carl was very sick. That was for a long time, and then when he passed, I didn't take care of myself, so I let a lot of things go that I should have been taken care of. So anyway, when I got around to it, the doctor said, we need to take care of this, we need to take care of that. Nothing major, but I did have to cancel some things so I could be closer to home, closer to Vanderbilt, you know, where I'm kind of having a few treatments here and there. But I wanted you to know that I'm not dying. Did you see that AI picture of...
This feels, I'm sorry, this feels AI to me. I think I'm going to go out on a limb. I think it's fake. I think that the CIA put this out because they knew that the nation couldn't stand another loss, and they're trying to bide time until our country finds a more even keel, because they know, you know, kind of how they're like, we can't have aliens revealed because the American people couldn't handle the truth. I think that if something bad happened to Dolly, they're like, roll out the AI videos because now is not the time.
No, we cannot withstand that.
Oh, Lordy. I mean, they had Reba at my deathbed, and we both looked like we need to be buried. But and I thought, oh, my Lord. But if I was really dying, I don't think Reba would be the one at my deathbed. She would not come visit me earlier. But anyway, there's just a lot of rumors flying around. But I figured if you heard it from me, you'd know that I was okay. So anyhow, that's what I wanted to say. And I'm not ready to die yet. I don't think God is through with me, and I ain't done working. So I love you for caring, and keep praying for me.
So yeah, her boomer Facebook sister thought that she was just asking for prayers innocently. It made everyone think she was on life support. That's obviously not the case, unless you're Brett and you think this is all fake.
Can Tim put me in contact with the head of the CIA? I want to look into this, because
Dolly is like she's inexplicably one of the most likable people on the planet.
She is. Everybody loves Dolly Parton. She is the one unifying figures in this whole country. There is not a soul alive that doesn't love Dolly Parton.
But then, of course, even this video is being used to fuel more conspiracies, and
I'm here for it. Like,
you're included in that.
It's mostly it just feels like somebody filmed it with a wide-angle lens for literally no reason. It doesn't look like a regular cell phone video would have sufficed.
One of the comments says, I was a songwriter in Nashville for 2 decades. I met Dolly on several occasions. This isn't her. Whatever it is they do with people who sell their soul for fame is exactly what they've done to her. This isn't real. Y'all take that however you will.
Look, okay, so
you're insane.
They replaced Paul McCartney. And they're replacing Dolly Parton.
And then they say that she needed to declare proof of life in front of a green screen tells me all I need to know.
I mean, like, she said she was doing videos for the Grand Ole Opry, so that makes sense. But It would be more concerning if it actually looked like green screen behind her, but I'm not focused on the background. I'm focused on the focal length of the camera. And, you know, do I really buy that she saw the photo of her with Reba McEntire? Like, I don't know.
No, I mean, I think that
Maybe
someone on her team maybe showed it to her and she's not as active on social media.
Maybe I do need to go on Inverted World to talk about this.
Face looks off. A lot of these famous people look like they've been on Ozempic. Something is definitely up. And then another one says, I think Dolly was into child trafficking.
What?
And that's not her.
Okay.
So the real Dolly is actually being detained at Guantanamo Bay.
See, I think
and this is her body double.
Any of the members, like any of the Hollywood Black Eye Club who sold their soul to the Illuminati are given the tech to make perfect deepfakes. So when they don't want to be on camera, but they need to make a public statement, they can release it. I mean, how often are these celebrities going under the knife for plastic surgery? Well, what if they got to post something? Huh?
One said this looks like a mask. Not the best voiceover either. Like, people are literally losing their minds. And this is what we were talking about yesterday. People who wouldn't otherwise be crazy are being driven crazy. And I think it's because of AI.
It is. No, it is 110%. Like, you, at this point, it's what I call post-reality. Like, it's post-concern, post-reality. Like, you don't have to care anymore because nothing's real anyways.
On the sign outside of Dollywood, the W in Dollywood is a design of a butterfly, a monarch butterfly. They're using that as evidence that she is involved in MK Ultra.
Of course! She couldn't just like butterflies. I'm sure there's some lore there. I don't know the lore, but it's probably an MK Ultra thing. That's probably what it is.
Right. Well, that's the simplest Occam's razor explanation.
Look, I'm just saying that if it was fake, the reason would be that this country collectively couldn't handle the loss of Dolly Parton.
By the way, these replies all seem to be from other, technologically illiterate boomers. One of them said you can actually see the line of the skin suit that runs across her chest, just under her throat.
Okay.
She has silicone boobs.
Yeah.
Like, what about Dolly Parton has ever been authentic physically? Yeah. Like, I just... These people, like, their grandchildren need to intervene in their lives and get them off of social media. The Facebook boomers are they're being absolutely obliterated psychologically.
The lady who put, like, the sister just didn't realize what she was doing when she posted that.
And they're, talking about how she canceled her Las Vegas residency that was supposed to take place in December. Her husband died. She was having a hard time. She's a human being. Yep. It's just so tiresome how everyone wants to be, a truth warrior on social media these days.
Everybody's out to expose the truth.
I think Dolly is okay. Unpopular opinion. I think she's fine.
No, I mean, that seemed to be the majority of the comments that I saw that think she's okay. All right.
Or maybe I just need her to be okay.
That's what I'm saying. That's
emotionally.
They play on your emotions. You need her to be okay, therefore you're willing to buy it. All right, let's move on.
So Kim Kardashian has been making her foray into Hollywood, starting with her cameo role in American Horror Story and other projects. And the newest one is a new series being released on Hulu and Disney Plus called All's Fair, which is a girl boss legal drama that she's co-starring in with Sarah Paulson. Here is the description of it from Hulu. A team of female divorce attorneys leave a male-dominated firm to open their own powerhouse practice. Fierce, brilliant, and emotionally complicated, they navigate high-stakes breakups, scandalous secrets, and shifting allegiances, both in the courtroom and within their own ranks. In a world where money talks and love is a battleground, these women don't just play the game, they change it. And they're all prancing around in this trailer in designer clothes. It's a Ryan Murphy show, by the way, so they just threw money at this. Mm-hmm. I shudder to think what the budget was for each episode on this series. But here is the trailer that is sending everyone into a spiral right now.
I'm so ready to let's get girl bossed.
Yeah.
Boy, do I love coming here. Walking down that hallway shaped like a clown cervix. Beef curtains.
The lines already. I'm just like, what is going on?
Every single joke was like, it was made by a bunch of 30-year-olds who think they're 20. Or worse.
No, I think 40-year-olds who think
that
they're
30.
Yeah.
Beef curtains.
Great stuff already.
Black May West. As much as I'd love to continue to exchange pleasant cocktail pleasantries, there is a war to be won.
You better work.
Oh, Laura.
Well, the
It's you.
Britney track,
Right this
too.
way.
You better work, bitch.
You're the best divorce lawyers in town.
Why do they have serfs opening the doors for them like they're going into some type of royal kingdom?
By the way, I really wish that they brought Dakota Johnson on this project.
That would have made way more sense.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not like...
Maybe not as one of the main cast, but one of their clients.
I need you to tell us the whole story.
We got married when I was still an
There's Brooke
undergrad.
Shields. You said this is the star-studded cast of dried up ovaries.
I might have said that, yeah.
You might have.
Love, it was all perfect. Except for this one small thing.
I trusted
Elizabeth
him.
Berkley.
That looks like Anna
How did
Kasparian.
this ever happen to me?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, do you think Britney Spears is like...
I said I
Is she
wonder how
collab
Britney
posting
Spears
about this?
feels about the fact that her song was used on the soundtrack. But then I realized
She's the one who loses the money in the divorce.
the song "Work" or like "You Better Work, Bitch" or whatever that was not Britney Spears on vocals. I firmly believe that was a stand-in. So she might not even remember recording it.
Here we go.
She's not getting...
Men, they are terrified of women in power.
So true.
It's a literal image of me when a woman gets any power at all.
Women besting men in divorce? No.
You mean the thing that like almost always happens in divorce? It was women getting the lion's
the
share.
rare example of men actually not getting screwed in divorce.
Okay.
God, I love my job.
I tell my clients every day, you never really know a person.
They're editing around how much she can act.
Yeah.
Like they keep showing images of her, but she's talking very sparingly because she's just not an actor.
Well, Kim is. She has a lot to draw upon for this performance because she's a multiple-time divorcee.
That is true.
It's just a trap.
Guess who's here with me right now? Chase, say bye-bye to your future ex-wife.
So Sarah Paulson starts representing Kim's character's now ex-husband
Say
in the show.
bye-bye to your future
Perfectly normal lawyer attire.
Yeah.
That's what women.
No,
that's what female lawyers.
ex-wife.
Bye-bye.
See you in court, you poor discarded. Let's light her on fire.
It's showtime, ladies.
It's showtime, ladies.
I mean, why is she doing that?
Why? Where is that in the show?
Did she lose in court and like just doesn't have any emotional regulation?
Are the victim here. And every tear you shed is $100K in your pocket. Make it rain. Here there is no safe word. You can't tell us to stop. You infertile, career-obsessed. Stand up straight.
And breeze into that room like a storm no one saw coming.
You are not taking so much as a ballpoint pen out of this building. Enough edging, counselor. Let us come already.
I would like the over/under on whether she actually knows what that means.
Sarah Paulson.
If she knows what, like, if I hear, like, the only thing that could have made it worse is if she called somebody a gooner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love and war. Before you comment on my new appearance, please know that this look is mine. Nothing more than next Halloween's costume, where I will be dressing as a whore lawyer.
You better work.
Honestly, the show will probably do well.
You think?
I think that there is an audience for this type of pulp material. I think it debases Glenn Close, who already did the masterpiece that was Damages, which was about a high-powered female lawyer murder mystery back in 2006. But there's definitely a weird wine-drinking audience for this show.
They've got Kim Kardashian, Naomi Watts, Niecy Nash-Betts, Tiana Taylor, Matthew Noska, and Sarah Paulson and Glenn Close.
Yeah, there's an audience for this show, 110%. Just like there's an audience for all of Ryan Murphy's shows. It'll do fine, but it won't be because of Kim Kardashian being in it.
Really?
Yes.
That's not going to have any effect on
I don't think it will have any
viewership?
No, the rest of the cast is a better sell on that, and whoever's going to like it is going to love the Reddit level dialogue and be like, "Oh my god, that's so edgy."
A hallway shaped like a clown's cervix.
Watch Damages, watch Billions with Damian Lewis. There's just infinitely better stuff that's been made, and I'm just giving mine.
Legal dramas.
Billions is about the financial markets, but like Damages was fantastic. At least the first several seasons were all fantastic. It's Glenn Close and Rose Byrne and Tate Donovan. It's lawyers, but it's wrapped around a murder mystery whodunit, like where they're trying to figure out in the first season what's going on. And Rose Byrne is fantastic in that show. Glenn Close is fantastic in that show. Elevates the material that was already good. This Glenn Close, maybe she made some bad investments in the market and needs to.
I wish they had modeled the character of Kim Kardashian's husband after Kanye.
Yeah.
Instead of, who was it before Kanye that she married for 72 days?
I don't know. Was she
Yeah.
I don't know.
She was married for a total
I
of
assume you would know that.
72 days.
I don't know. Who was that?
Let me see. It was, oh my gosh. Okay, so first she married Damon Thomas, a music producer. They divorced after 4 years of marriage.
Okay. How long ago was that?
That they first got married in 2000 when she was 19.
She probably said beef curtains, and he's like, "I'm out of here."
But then
Clown cervix.
But let me see. It was her second husband that she was with for literally 72 days. Yeah, Chris Humphries, the basketball player.
Okay.
The actor they chose to play her husband in the show looks more like Chris Humphries. So the plot obviously is, she gets a divorce, and then Sarah Paulson is representing her ex-husband, and she gets other lawyers on her side, and they're both sabotaging each other's claims. This trailer just made everyone feel like they were losing their minds. Like, this must be a hallucination.
Here's me when Mary talks. Every time Mary's talking, I'm just screaming in my head because I can't let anybody girl boss
You can't
near
let
me.
a woman be in power.
Of course not.
Because you're a man.
See, the thing is, though, is it's leaning into the thing me and you always talk about, which is that being a defense lawyer, I suppose being a divorce lawyer is in the same wheelhouse. It's the last profession where you get to be a very bad person, and you're actually applauded for it. So, I would like some clearer lines. Like okay, so the whole point of the show is that everybody's awful, but it might work better. In Damages, Rose Byrne's character doesn't start out that way. She's naive and unaware of how the world of high-powered lawyering works and just how ruthless everyone is. And she's the audience for the first season, and she gets slowly corrupted. I don't see anybody, there could have been a scene where somebody says beef curtains and somebody goes, "Why would you say that?" Can there be one normal person there? There's nobody there to be like, "Clown cervix. We're in a freaking law office. Why are you talking like this?"
We have a 20 from the Manic Mustache. Late as usual, but apropos to Fancy's coat of many colors. All these new country artists pretend to have grown up Dolly, but your daddy wasn't a coal miner and your mama drove a Suburban. Just put a fiddle in your band and always stay toxic, my friends.
There you go.
One of the responses here said this is a show designed to be called cunty on Twitter by chronically online young adults.
Yes, that's written by gay men for women.
But I don't think Zoomers are going to be tuning in for this. I think this is
they've aged
definitely for Gen X and millennial women.
It's for millennial women.
And maybe their begrudging husbands trying to humor them.
No. See, here's the thing. For a show this bad, the husband has some bargaining chips to be like, look, I'm going to play video games. Like,
I'm going to play golf.
Get me out of here. Like, I'm not watching this shit.
And the response said, I'm constantly bewildered by what the entertainment industry thinks being a lawyer is like. And I have no idea.
That's not a fair critique because it's art, and it's not like if it was actually what it's like being a lawyer, that would be very boring.
Really boring.
It's like when they talk about like, there's this scene in the Limitless TV show where he's like, now I know why they glorify computer hacking on TV shows because it's boring, really boring, and it just shows you a time lapse of him typing at a computer for like several minutes. It wouldn't be interesting to show you the boring side of things, but I'd rather it be closer to Suits than this.
Well, I have no idea if this response is real, but someone said, secrets out, I was the legal consultant for this show. After years of Law and Order getting it wrong, I'm glad the industry finally has some accurate representation in media. Probably satire.
I'm assuming so.
Yeah. But I don't know. I guess we'll have to see if Kim Kardashian can prove her acting chops. It's funny because she spends enough time in her real life pretending to be a lawyer already.
This is what lawyers dress like when they're about to go into court and try to win their client's multi-million-dollar divorce settlement.
See, I think she's destroying the car so that he can't get it in the divorce.
Okay.
I think that's what's happening in that scene.
Yeah. Guys, go watch Billions or Damages instead. Damages is so good. All right. Oh, all right, let's move on.
Well, we have Cringe or Cute of the Day. I think we should watch the Cringe first.
Get it over with? Okay.
Yeah.
How bad is today's?
Honestly, it's pretty bad.
After what you just made me watch, and then
this is an interaction between Ariana Grande and a child fan of hers.
Okay.
You are the one that taught me that I don't need a boy up my ass to be a hot bitch. Oh, God. You are the one that taught me that I don't need a boy up my ass to be a hot bitch.
Oh, God. That girl is like 12.
She's
Ariana is like, wow, your parents let you say stuff like that.
She's like, yes. Okay. Christopher Blue in the chat mentioned Boston Legal. Boston Legal was really, really great too. You should watch Boston Legal. William Shatner and James Spader.
Okay.
All right. Let's do Cute of the Day. Let's get some balance in here. All right. This one's from Kyle Dixon. Took these pups for a camp over the weekend. The blonde boy is a sandwich thief. Their IDs reach a lady named Jenny. Phil that Romaines will likely get the reference. Well, Phil's not here today, but that's okay.
Darn. Sorry, Phil.
Yep.
You don't get to see them.
Aww.
Very cute.
That's got to be nice to just be in the back seat. And I like all the Pabst Blue Ribbon. Like they're just sleeping next to the beer.
Maybe you drank all the beer.
They're camping, you know? They got to do that. All right. Let's get started.
So last summer, Ubisoft was getting clowned on left and right for the release of Assassin's Creed Shadows, which stars a race-swapped version of a Japanese samurai called Yasuke. He is a black man in historical samurai-era Japan in the game. And this was a huge veer off from the usual pattern for Assassin's Creed games. They're praised for being historically accurate. And when people actually looked into the accuracy of this story that they told, they found out that the historical Yasuke was not a samurai and was more like an employee of a samurai, a swordsman, if you will. And the samurai in question, the Japanese man, took a strange fascination with his dark skin complexion and just sort of kept him around as a roadie. That was my understanding of it, at least. So they were getting clowned on for that. Obviously, the choice to make a black protagonist in a game about Japanese samurai is distinctly a Western choice influenced by DEI practices, which were common through the development of that game. But as the cultural vibe shift took place in the last year, couple of years.
We kind of treat that term like Schrodinger's cat, where we're like half the time we're just saying that it's not real, and half the time we're like it's because this happened. So
I think
not the most.
What it really means is that like the cultural vibe shift was oversold by people on the right, but it is a real thing, and game devs have taken notice. They had an Assassin's Creed game in the works, as we've just found out from a new report, that was based on the Reconstruction era, where you play as a freed slave in the South who basically goes on the warpath killing Ku Klux Klan members. And leadership decided that because of the current political climate, they didn't want to get in hot water with the anti-woke crowd once again, so they killed the idea before this game was even really in development or even had a working title. This is at least according to a scoop from Steven Totilo. He published this piece about the canceled game in GameFile News, saying last year Ubisoft canceled an Assassin's Creed game set during Reconstruction. It was to feature a black assassin who, among other things, fought the Klan's rise. Leadership nixed it, concerned with the political climate in the US and the backlash to Yasuke. He responded to this with his own thoughts on why this happened. He said, "Some have said that Assassin's Creed games that, quote, DEI kills art." He's quoting Elon Musk, actually, who said DEI kills art in response to Yasuke. But this might be a case where anti-DEI helped kill art. Much more about the game and the context of the decision. Most of the story is paywalled, but you can sample reading it. It's just being reported on in other outlets right now. Yep. People are across the board kind of laughing at this decision on the left and the right. The left is kind of outraged that this happened. One of them said they canceled the coolest effing video game ever because our current political climate would cause backlash for a game about killing racist terrorists. That's where we're at, by the way. Yeah. That wasn't on my 2025 bingo card. Hope this helps.
I said recently, every time I play bingo, I get numbers and not cultural events. It's weird.
So they're saying this is further evidence that we currently live in a far-right authoritarian dictatorship under the Trump administration, who is chilling speech and art expression.
Well, I mean, and the right would say that this is just market forces reacting. Oddly enough, I think if they had never done the blunder of Assassin's Creed Shadows, I think this one would have played fine.
If they were arguing about audience backlash, that has nothing to do with authoritarian measures. No. I don't think anyone at Ubisoft was worried about the Trump administration, I don't know, censoring their game. They were worried about it not selling well because it was a dumb idea. In my opinion, at least, it's a dumb idea. I think it is inherently inflammatory and racialized in the context of modern race relations, not historical race relations.
I'll give you an example of why I think it could have worked if it didn't have the baggage of the previous game. So it's the least talked about of his series, but Taylor Sheridan made a show called Lawman Bass Reeves, which is based on the first black U.S. Marshal in history. From that time period, and it's a period piece. It didn't get the same level of, energy that say a Yellowstone did, or even like a Landman, but people liked it fine, and it got decent reviews, and certainly nobody was up in arms because plenty of people had wanted to see his story told. Now that has the benefit of being about a real person. But I don't think that this game would have gotten the backlash because the big complaint they had about it was that the context of the character in this universe doesn't make any sense. But if you put a character in a time period where they do make sense, they're willing to go along with it, assuming that they were historically accurate as per their, what the credit they've been given for games past. I think it would have done fine if it didn't have the baggage of everything that came before it.
Yeah. I didn't keep up with how the Assassin's Creed Shadows game sold, but I did just see a bunch of people mocking it.
First day sales were good. Other than that, from everything that I read, it was very underwhelming. Like they would have released more information about the numbers if it had done the numbers they wanted it to.
Interesting to note, they said employees were enthusiastic about the game idea, but were also frustrated by its cancellation, which they perceived as Ubisoft bowing to controversy. So the truth here is that creatives behind video games, behind TV shows or movies, or any media really, they rarely have any stake in the performance of the project. They only care about the artistic integrity of it, and they get paid regardless. They get paid for their job on whatever project it is, and they have no bearing or concern with how it performs or how it's received from consumers. The parent company, Ubisoft in this case, has to care about that, or the Hollywood studio has to care how the movie performs. The writer of the movie doesn't have to care about that at all. So that's why they perceive this to be Ubisoft bowing to controversy. No, they're responding to a controversy that already happened and making a smart decision based on a PR disaster that they already brought upon themselves.
But this is something that ends up being confounding, which is like half the time they say that the streaming or that the Hollywood studios only want to make stuff that's propaganda, right? And they say that, you know, they'll make whatever, it doesn't matter if it makes money or not. But I don't know if that's necessarily true. Like a lot of the time people are like, they just make propaganda, they don't care if the movie fails or not. But then at the same time, then these properties get canceled and they don't do it again. So they're just reacting to market forces.
Right. Instead of making smart decisions before things actually get into production and release.
Yeah.
It's definitely more complicated than that. But for the most part, the creatives and writers and artists behind these projects don't have to think about the way they're going to be received. They only care about the message.
They get the check up front.
It cannot be understated, in my perspective, that this game is basically a power fantasy about killing white people. That's what it is.
I mean, I don't know who made but the concept of it would have been based on real history. So yeah, like
I understand that, but that's a convenient cover.
So then you have to know, I would have to know more about the person who pitched it there. Like, there are plenty of people who have made historically accurate video games, but nowadays people, it's like when they see, I saw somebody in the chat earlier mention new Peacemaker tonight. When James Gunn makes season 2 of Peacemaker about Nazi alternate timelines, you're like, look, the comment I was trying to make before was like, they don't use Earth X because it's interesting. They use Earth X because it's got Nazis and that's what they want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So it's giving you, at least that would be my summation of what I believe James Gunn's intentions are, because I do believe that he's politically motivated and that's where he wants the story to go. He wasn't, he didn't find the idea of Earth X or these characters, super gripping. He just found the ones that fit best into what he felt like writing about. Now, part of that is because, he knows what works for him creatively, and it does. But for the rest of us, I'm just like, it's like we've had 30 shows with alt history, the Nazis won World War II. We've already seen Hunters, The Man in the High Castle. All of this stuff has been done before. But without knowing who it was that pitched it, I can assume that you're right, that it's just like, I want to talk about this and I want to, kill members of the KKK. I did see a funny tweet that was like, so a black Republican gets to go on a rampage.
I 100% believe that, knowing what we know about the people at Ubisoft who are behind their game development and the reception of Assassin's Creed Shadows, the reason why this was brought up as an idea in the first place is because they hate white people and they wanted to make a game about killing white people. And there's not a whole lot else to it.
Yeah. I would believe
and
that...
just keep in mind, the members of the KKK that would be portrayed in this game, they see those characters the exact same way that they see you.
Yep.
They think that you are KKK, that you are a Nazi, and when they call mainstream right-wing figures Like Charlie Kirk, for instance, a Nazi or a fascist, that's not just an insult, it's a permission slip for violence. And that's the violent fantasy that they were hoping to create and give a platform to with this game.
I will also believe that it's purely artistic when, like they always, and I've had a hard time trying to explain this on the show. There's been plenty of shows and movies made about communism. But to pretend like Hollywood has created an equal amount of interest in both of those ideologies is insane. Because I was like, I followed this thread on X where they were listing like the movies and the shows that have been about Nazis in World War II, and then movies and shows that have been about communism and things like that. And I'm like, if you think that there's been equal attention given to both, you're insane.
Right.
You are. Like, I remember I finally got around to watching Archangel with what's his name? Daniel Craig. And it was really good. And it was about, the fall of Stalin. And it came out in 2006. It's like you don't really get to see a whole lot of stuff made about the Stalins, the Lenins, the Maos. You're just never going to. Mustache Man is a much easier to sell for people.
Right. So. I agree with this one reply, though. They should still try this, but have you play as one of the Klansmen. Or you can pick.
Is there like a DLC where it's just Charlottesville in 2017?
That would have happened.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Super chats.
High Voltage 75 said, s'more? S'more of what? I haven't had anything yet, so how can I have s'more of nothing?
It's from The Sandlot.
I didn't know that s'mores were called s'mores because it's for some more.
Is that
for like a really long time?
I didn't know that till just now.
You didn't?
No.
You just thought they were called s'mores for no reason?
I'm going to live longer than everybody else because I don't concern myself with why a s'more is called a s'more.
Because that's why there's the apostrophe there.
I remember when...
Because you want s'more.
I don't remember who was there. I was on an episode of IRL. And somebody was asking Tim, they're like, what motivates you? And Tim's like, curiosity. Like, I need to understand how things work. I'm like, yeah, I got none of that. I'm like, yeah, guys. I was like, it works. It's the way it is.
No, I think for you, it just depends on the subject matter. Greg Duvier said, "Is it Thursday? It is Thursday. Where is Phil? Phil is busy right now with some personal matters, and he already gave us a lot of help in the past week and on Monday, so he deserves a little break."
Yeah, so I asked him on Monday, or I asked him on Friday. I'm like, bro, can you also help on Monday? I was gonna ask Tate, but it's like I didn't even know for sure whether he was gonna be back or not. And then Phil helped on Monday.
Mm-hmm. Greg Duvier said, "Put a Seamus on." It's been a while since we had Seamus on the show. I don't even remember how long ago that was.
It was. When was Roe v. Wade overturned? We can figure it out right now.
It then?
It was the day that Roe v. Wade got overturned.
That was the last time he was on?
That was when he was on.
Interesting. Yeah, that was a fun day. Shot of Jammo said, "To be fair, I've been asking for an Assassin's Creed Civil War since AC3, but that's not what I meant."
Not that game specifically.
Oh. Well, people were also, asking for a samurai themed Assassin's Creed game for years and years before the one that they ended up releasing, and they had to put their own stupid twist on it.
Hold, please.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on.
Okay. So I'm gonna wait for the lights.
Yeah, the lights are always an issue here.
Flashing.
Hold, please. Hold. Okay. It's gonna happen eventually. There we go.
Last week, it was announced that sadly Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban split after 19 years of marriage. Actually, I just learned that they're both Australian. I had no idea. Mm-hmm. But this is one Hollywood marriage that I think a lot of people were emotionally invested in, and I didn't realize it. It does strike me as an odd coupling, just to start with. It's kind of like when I learned that Gwen Stefani is with what's that country star's name?
The dude from The Voice, right? Blake Shelton.
Blake Shelton, right? It was like
because they met
that took me by surprise.
I think they met on the show.
Okay.
I think they met on the show.
Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban actually met for there was some event for Australians in Hollywood that they met at in like 2005.
What the?
Yeah.
Like, is there like an event for Polish people in Hollywood? Can I go to that one?
Yeah, and they've been happily together ever since, up until recently. They're constantly, looking very in love and canoodling on red carpets, and locals where they live in Nashville have said they see them all the time engaging in the local community, going to restaurants together and going to church together. They're church-going people, which is a surprise for Hollywood in general. But
I mean, 19 years of marriage in Hollywood is like 63 years of
anomaly.
Marriage in normal time.
And they have 2 daughters together who are teenagers, which makes the whole situation even sadder. But the rumor about their divorce, why it happened, is quite shocking. The claim is that Nicole Kidman's, quote, bottomless need for sexual attention led to the end of their marriage.
Look, I knew that theory was going to come out a lot when the divorce was announced.
Mm-hmm.
They're both artists. They're both weirdos. I don't buy it for a second.
Well, last year
I think that the truth is always far more mundane.
Last year was a big year for Nicole Kidman's acting career. She starred in 2 separate films that were eerily similar, where she plays this nymphomaniac cougar love interest opposite, in Baby Girl, Harris Dickinson, and in A Family Affair with Zac Efron, she's this hot older woman.
Well, that type of movie is now case du jour for,
She's not the only one
most
jumping
of
on
it,
that trend.
got Anne Hathaway, all these, like, I don't remember, hers probably went, Nicole Kidman has the star power to make it go to theaters. Most of them probably go to streaming.
Right.
It's basic. You know what? I'm going to actually defend him for a second here, because I had to watch it. I watched a 30-minute video of Shoe on Head talking about Morning Glory Milking Farm. And if the women are not all right, I would rather they be all right in the Anne Hathaway and Nicole Kidman stuff than whatever the fuck that was.
I guess if you have to pick between the two.
Yeah, like I'm saying, like, gun to your head. Like, the women are not all right, but you get to choose how they're not all right. I guess I'll, go that way.
Well, I think the more realistic theory here is that Keith Urban had a long history of cheating on Nicole Kidman.
And again,
that even
it's
started...
always more mundane than whatever people pitch to the thing. He was like, you know what? He probably didn't care because he was too busy having sex with someone that wasn't his wife.
Those rumors began even before they were married, back in 2006, I believe. He was allegedly hooking up with some model months before and up until their wedding, and they still somehow
got married and went through with it.
They somehow worked through it and kept a strong relationship up until recently. The current rumor is that he was engaged in an affair with a guitarist that was joining him on stage since January, a 25-year-old singer and guitarist named Maggie Bowe. They mention Maggie, who always wears hot pants on stage, has been duetting with Keith Urban on and off since January this year. She was delighted when he jokingly and perhaps a little flirtatiously sang, "Maggie, I'll be your guitar player." Both of them smiled at each other and laughed. She later posted the exchange on Instagram with the caption, "Did he just say that?" Perhaps Maggie's giggling energy was just what Keith Urban needed, since it now appears his marriage to Nicole Kidman is over, having suddenly unraveled in late June of this year. News that was confirmed by TMZ on Monday.
You know what I think it is? I think Keith Urban really likes going to Alamo Drafthouse to watch movies. And since Nicole Kidman is a spokesperson for AMC, it was never going to work.
That was the irreconcilable difference.
I like the meme.
That's what it was.
The meme that said, AMC should have all their flags at half-mast for Nicole Kidman's divorce.
One source in Nashville expressed sadness at the end of their marriage and spoke of Kidman's apparent second teenagerhood and of her bottomless need for sexual attention as possible drivers of the split. And they do get into Keith Urban's discomfort with her flirtatiousness and sexuality both on and off screen.
The real question is why we allow Australians to be country stars.
I was shocked to learn that Keith Urban is Australian. That was not on my 2025 bingo card.
I mean, that one I knew, but it always stuck in the back of my
wild.
mind is like, what is this bullshit?
I mean, I guess they're kind
so
of like
Beyonce is not allowed to be a country star, but Keith Urban is?
He's sort of, you know, I guess Australians have a little bit of that twang going on. There's always been gossip about the marriage, all the more in recent years, as Nicole Kidman has appeared to take on every project. Some have been schlocky, like 2 series of 9 Perfect Strangers and the Netflix film A Family Affair. But Baby Girl, the film in which she plays a high-powered executive in a sexually submissive affair with a dominant intern, was genuinely shocking, with Nicole Kidman crawling naked to lap milk from a saucer. She said in interviews that she became tired of performing simulated orgasms during filming and played along with the film's social media hype by drinking a glass of milk on stage at a film event in January.
See? She's and remember, she's the one who said that she she goes out of her way to work with female directors now. She's picking her projects. She's not hurting for money. So if she's doing weird shit, she's doing it on purpose.
She probably was trying to get an Oscar. But some think that her choice to play this role in Baby Girl didn't do her marriage any good. And one source said, did she think about what her teenagers would think, or her husband? Or was she just thinking about whether she might win an award? The word is that she is a very highly sexual person. That's the reputation, and she has never shied away from expressing that on screen. People are speculating that there has been a betrayal on one side or another. I hear that the relationship had run its course, but you don't cast aside a 19-year-long marriage just because someone's been working too much. Something serious has to have happened, which someone cannot get past. And in another piece, they had a similar source saying Nicole has a reputation for being very open about her sexuality. She's never tried to hide it, but when a marriage is already fragile, that kind of attention can become overwhelming. She's like a nympho when it comes to flirting, as she just needs to feel needed. Nicole never wanted the marriage to end. She kept trying to make it work, but in the end, it just couldn't be saved. And another insider said no one believes that a 19-year marriage ends over packed schedules. People think the bigger issue was Nicole Kidman's constant need for attention, which Keith Urban eventually found unbearable.
Or he just cheated a bunch and she's like, all right, I'm out of here.
Nicole was looking for something he just couldn't provide. Yeah. And Keith had grown weary of her demands. And I just don't believe these claims.
I don't either.
He knew that he was getting into a marriage with a hot Hollywood actress. He knew what he was getting into.
He's
there.
also an art nerd,
it's not a
too.
surprise.
They're both artists, so, you know.
Yeah, and I don't think he had this real discomfort with her doing sex scenes. Yeah. That's not a new thing for her or for Hollywood in general. But there was one radio interview that he did recently, I think in July. He wasn't comfortable, reportedly, when being asked about Nicole Kidman's sex scenes, specifically in A Family Affair. They asked him what he thinks when he sees his beautiful wife with the younger men like Zac Efron having beautiful love scenes on TV. And instead of answering the question, Keith Urban simply ended the call. He just hung up.
Oh, I forgot about that.
He just hung up the phone.
That was recently. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so maybe it did end up getting to him over time. Who knows? And I do think you have to be an incredibly weird person to not find that bothersome when you're in a relationship with someone. Most people would obviously never put up with that, and they would never feel comfortable with that. But we just assume, I don't know, Hollywood people are weird and they do weird things for money, and I guess they all think that that's acceptable. But at the end of the day, you are still a human being, and your brain works the same way as all the rest of us. Yep. And I don't think a man really enjoys seeing his wife having simulated sex with other men.
No.
I don't think that's really something that you can get past psychologically. So maybe that had something to do with it. In five months ago, Nicole Kidman was also seen at a Charlie XCX concert.
How old is she?
Wearing
She's
her,
like...
the cool sunglasses and like raving. And they say she almost passed for another teenager like the rest of the audience. Was this a sign of a midlife crisis or second teenagerhood?
I mean, it is kind of a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
It's the desire to not grow up and be and like actually act your age.
Right. Yeah. And I think, like most things, no one is completely at fault, but people have jumped to conclusions. They want Keith Urban to be the villain in this story. Mm-hmm. One of the replies said, if Keith Urban has cheated or ends up with an Instagram model under the age of 25, I will start the biggest smear campaign this nation has ever seen. And as for the theory that Nicole Kidman is just too hypersexual for Keith Urban in his twilight years as a near 60-year-old, it reminded a lot of people of Winona Ryder's short-lived relationship with Jamiroquai.
I had to inform Mary who Jamiroquai was.
Yeah.
I played her the video for Virtual Insanity.
The frontman, JK, says that Winona Ryder wore him out with her nonstop demands for sex. He said although he enjoyed his brief relationship with her, he was left shattered trying to keep up. He confessed, quote, "She has these enormous breasts, bigger than they look on film. And she did have this habit of constantly wanting to play hide the sausage. It was exhausting." So, women are aghast at the idea that you can get dumped for being too horny.
Yeah.
But Colonel Kurtz actually threw in her take about this.
I saw
she said,
that.
"Stop blaming Nicole Kidman's sexy movie baby girl for her divorce. Keith Urban cheated on her right up until their marriage and was a hardcore addict. I'm pretty sure infidelity and hardcore addiction don't just go away and probably had more of an effect than her movies. She was a hot actress when he married her anyway. He knew what she was."
Yeah, but still, like, you have just as much evidence for... You have past claims about him and current claims about the movie season, so both of those have validity there. Like, in absence, this is just gossip anyways. Like, in absence of somebody saying what it was, there's no more proof that one person is more guilty than the other.
I still think Nicole Kidman is going to come out looking better in this scenario, just because days after people find out about her divorce, she's on the cover of Vogue. And she looks incredible. And then all we know about Keith Urban is that he made this really sad album, and he's supposedly in this really like pathetic fling relationship with a Gen Z guitarist girl that he barely knows and is probably not even interested in him for more than his money.
Yep.
They said a divorce announcement followed up by the cover of Vogue. Nicole Kidman, come get your baddie chain.
Oh yeah, I have the photo there.
Yeah.
I mean, people like that want you to be divorced and unhappy.
I mean, she was probably going to be on the cover of Vogue regardless.
Correct.
So,
all right.
It's not related.
Let's go to Superchats.
Burned oil. I don't know. I'm not going to read that.
Okay.
High Voltage 75 said, should have taken a page from Sweeney by calling it Mary's bathwater blend. The simps would be buying it by the truckload. Yeah, no amount of money would be worth releasing anything even claiming to be my bathwater or infused with my bathwater. No, not gonna do that. Shane H. Wilder said, now I can film the final 5 seconds I need for the Cast Brew ad, then finish all the special effects to make it a 70s, 80s grindhouse ghost movie. Ooh. That's exciting. Shot of Jammo said, Warren Zeter is a based Gen Z country artist.
Okay.
I haven't heard of him. But I'm pretty sure Zach Bryan, if he's 29, he's like the oldest possible Zoomer.
Is that like the end of the cycle?
I think so.
Okay.
I think the oldest Zoomers are 29 now.
Okay.
It's going to be interesting to see the first Zoomers turning 30.
Let's do 2 more.
Corey Anderson said, sounds like Dolly's dentures are slipping.
It did sound like that.
Also, Dolly is my hear me out, he says. We were just talking about that off air. I was like, Brett, tell me, would the average man hook up with Dolly Parton? Like, is that a hall pass for some men out there?
I'm guessing that...
and you said yes.
I said most of them would probably.
Most of them.
Yeah.
I mean, you're trying to make me have a low opinion of men.
Yeah.
She's like freaking 90. Gosh.
I think I made the comment. I said they'd have to see what she actually looks like without the harsh light or without the bright lights.
Yeah. Maybe. Okay. We'll assess from there.
All right. Let's hold off on the rest. Let's come back.
So Taylor Swift's new album, The Life of a Showgirl, is not being received well by critics and, most interestingly, her own dedicated fans. Their loyalty to her is being put to the test, and it looks like a lot of them are choosing to jump ship. They don't want to be a part of the Swiftie fan base anymore, at least according to the numbers. On Social Blade, you can see that Taylor Swift's following on Instagram has taken a hit following the release of the album. She has lost approximately 200,000 followers. So that's, in the grand scheme of things, they say only 0.07% of the total number. But still, an interesting thing to observe that she's had this drop in followers. I think it's for a lot of reasons. One being her supposed misinterpretation of Shakespeare's Hamlet in her song The Fate of Ophelia. Another is the accusation that she has used AI in the marketing materials for this album, and a lot of her fan base finds that abhorrent and also hypocritical, given that she's expressed her fears about AI in the past. Also, of course, because of her being the victim of an X-rated AI social media smear campaign just last year, and AI-generated photos of her endorsing Donald Trump that she denounced last year when she endorsed Kamala. And furthermore, her lyrical content on this album is being clowned on just endlessly. I can't even escape it on my Reels algorithm. I'm just seeing video after video of people mocking, especially the song Canceled, because it comes off as just sort of a pity party about how hard it is to be famous and have famous friends, and we're so rich and we're so canceled and we're so scandalous and we're all wearing Gucci, and I like my whiskey sour. Like, it's just very try hard. The song about Travis Kelce's penis isn't going over so well because she was attempting to copy the likes of Chappell Roan and Sabrina Carpenter with these lighthearted sexual lyrics, and it just comes off like, you don't want to think about Margaret Thatcher naked. That's how it feels. So there's that. And then, of course, there's the accusation that her album is sending women down the alt-right pipeline because she's romanticizing the trad family lifestyle, talking about wanting to have kids with Travis on the album. And I don't even necessarily believe any of those accusations, except for the one about Shakespeare.
There's a 20 there from Jose Quintana.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. First half of Kidman's career, in my humble opinion, was far superior in roles and physical traits. Second half has been boring and staid. By the way, Ghost Empress, I have just ordered my first 2 bags of your flavor. Wait, that sounded... Okay, it didn't sound like anything, but thank you for the support. I don't necessarily believe any of those accusations, except for the one about Shakespeare and the one about her lyrics being cringy. The other stuff is kind of a cacophony of just like pent up anger that has been held against Taylor Swift for a very long time. And it prompted this op-ed in CNN titled, "Finally, everyone can say bad things about Taylor Swift."
I mean, that's kind of, that's
because she's been the Kim Jong-un of the music industry for years at this point.
I mean, so are these people saying this the ones who came to her defense when Trump said mean things about her? So they, like,
I bet they did.
They disingenuously came to her defense because, she just happened to be on the right side of the aisle politically for them at the time, and now she's persona non grata, so they can say what they've always wanted to say about her.
I think it has less to do with politics and more to do with like her waning coolness.
I'm just saying at that time, that was a time when people were dunking on her, but it was the wrong type of people. Now the right type of people can dunk on her, apparently.
Exactly. And I was ranting about this before the show started. If conservatives want to align themselves with Taylor Swift, or they want to pretend to be Swifties in order to score political points, now is not the time to do so, because she's not seen as cool anymore. So if you're going to be praising this album, it just makes you seem equally uncool to Taylor Swift. And you should have maybe hopped on that bandwagon a long time ago with Alex Clark. But the least I can say for Alex Clark is that she's genuinely a fan and actually listens to the music. There are a lot of conservatives that are pretending to be Swifties now because they think she's trad, and it's really lame and also not even an accurate interpretation of her songs. But this op-ed says even the most diehard Taylor Swift fan is being tested right now. The fandom is facing all kinds of harsh realities and online scorn, from Swift's absolutely mercenary levels of multiple and expensive versions of physical media to a mess song that seems to be about her boyfriend being a sexual powerhouse. And then there's the reviews. Fans are also forced to confront that the new album might not be great. Not all of her albums have been received rapturously upon release. This time, people are saying it loudly. And there are all of these mainstream publications that have put out negative reviews for her album. The positive ones seem to be payola. I mean, that much is obvious. She gets like weird Easter eggs from Google and YouTube, and her album is being pushed on Spotify. The official X account for iTunes hadn't been used in 5 years until it posted positively about this album. And now people finally feel free to dunk on Taylor Swift, which you weren't allowed to do up until this past week. One post said, "I said Taylor Swift's new album sucks, and I didn't even get a single death threat from a Swiftie. That's how bad it is." Now even the Swifties feel ashamed of their idol. And it says a lot, because one of the lyrics on her album is literally about being desperate to seem cool, and not even this album is making her seem cool.
Okay, so how would what would she have had to do to make an album that would have appealed to the people that it normally appeals to? Would it have just been a retread of everything she's done before?
I know what not to do. Don't name check internet lingo that hasn't been popular for a decade or more. Don't make a diss track about another artist that didn't even make a diss track about you. Don't make a song about your boyfriend's penis.
Charlie Stevenson in the chat says famous fickle. Yeah, you have to understand that the people that love you will eventually turn on you. That is true of that thing. That's why it's one of the reasons why one of the hardest things to take is like people, they have a hard time with the criticism. And the nice things wash over you really, really easily. But really, you should take all of the nice things with a huge grain of salt, because 90% of those people are going to turn on you the second you have a single opinion they don't agree with, or in this case, a single song that they don't like or agree with. Like when there is no humanity there, when it's nothing but an avatar of a person that you don't actually know in the real world, people are very quick to turn on you.
I saw one former Swiftie say the reason they dislike this album, aside from it being, as they put it, MAGA coded, is that Taylor Swift is basically saying to her fan base that she hasn't matured at all. And it's like, yeah, I have sex now, and I cuss a little too, bitch. And it just doesn't land with anyone, because that's not you. At least she had the appearance of authenticity before. But this is just, it's giving like this air of desperation. And another major criticism of this album is that she's plagiarizing other artists, including artists that she has collaborated with, including Post Malone. And I wanted to show this video that compares a bunch of melodies that she has stolen on this album, on many tracks.
Hey, thank you for the lovely bouquet. You're sweeter than a peach bud. Top to the bottom, just cool. Every little thing that do you expect
I already know this one, yeah.
Yeah. I have no idea what that is.
I love the idea that she's like, I'm taking this one specifically.
Yeah.
This person isn't be able to do shit.
This 12-year-old.
Like, go ahead, sue me. I dare you.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Phil will talk to you about the 4 chords, and like, there's only so many, different renditions. I've actually, if I'm being honest, I've heard songs that end up being a hell of a lot closer to other songs than some of these. The Post Malone one and the Pixie one were like the most egregious to me.
I think the Post Malone Circles riff was the most egregious.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it was intentional.
Yeah.
But what's annoying about it is that she forced Olivia Rodrigo to pay her royalties for much less.
Yeah.
Like, Olivia Rodrigo didn't plagiarize Taylor Swift, but she was forced to credit Taylor Swift as one of the writers on, I forget the name of the song. But it was for a much less blatant copy than any of the ones that we just watched. And then aside from that, I can't believe it, but there is just a slew of TikToks from young women who used to identify as Swifties that you have in this thread here. And we don't have to watch any of them, but they're basically all liberal Gen Z women criticizing Taylor for spreading trad wife propaganda.
I mean, can I like, let me defend her just a little bit. Like, as far as like, not about the plagiarism and stuff like that, but like when it comes to the themes and stuff like that, I don't think it would have mattered as much what the themes are, because for a lot of people, she has been so relevant for so long, and the people that were looking to complain were they were looking for the smallest, tiniest thing, and anything right-wing coded gave them an immediate out to be like, they were waiting for it, right? Like, because before, they likely might have had those same critiques in certain areas of Tortured Poets Department, but because she and Trump were fighting, they're like, well, I don't want to seem like I'm on the same side as that guy, so they kept their mouths shut about it and things like that. So also, when you're her level of fame, the pushback is normally correspondingly just as big. She is one of those rare artists where it seemed like nobody but, the right-wing conservatives who want to say that some set she did was demonic during her tour. Like, that was the extent of the criticism. And that was eye-rolling most of the time. So she's getting the same amount of pushback, relevant, relative to the size of her platform that any artist would get. Like, I don't find this all that shocking. And I also think that she is pointed out more than a few times on interviews. She's like, look, I've been famous since I was 16. Like, you can't, like, whatever she says in the lyrics, whether that's the real truth or what she says in these interviews is the real truth. She's like, look, I've been famous since I was 16. You're not going to shock me. You're not going to faze me. I'm going to keep doing whatever I'm doing. Whatever insecurities she's got seems to be working their way onto the page, which is where an artist normally would do that. It's better to do that, whether it's insecurities by using, 2010s gamer lingo or like internet lingo, or, working it out in her lyrics, than being like, by the way, anybody who doesn't agree with me is a piece of shit. Like, I'm good. Like, people have said, she said the other day, she's like, people want to interpret my music however they want. And I appreciate that.
It's just funny how 1 minute, according to the right, Taylor Swift is a Moloch worshipping.
Yeah. Well,
Jeffrey
they should.
Epstein, island visiting
LaVey.
Satanist, priestess. Like, 1 minute she's all of those things, and then the next minute, as soon as it's deemed politically expedient to be a Swiftie, she's a trad wife. I think that's ridiculous.
And you should aspire to be more like, say, an Alex Clark, or my wife, who is a very big Taylor Swift fan, who loves the new album and was telling me her favorite songs on it. But she's always loved Taylor Swift, and she's defended many artists, because she's like, I'm not gonna apologize for liking a pop star.
Now, I've been told this is a feminist take. I don't think it's a feminist take. I think I'm just calling out hypocrisy in a lot of these pop stars. I don't think that you should make your brand about being a boss bitch who don't need no man and then make all of your songs about men. I'm not accusing Taylor Swift of doing that. That's more so Sabrina Carpenter, who I accused of doing that. And I have to give credit to Addison Rae where it's due.
In what
Because
way?
in all of her songs on her recent album, like her debut album, they weren't, as feminists would call it, male-centered, and they were more introspective. And it wasn't the best album in the world, but she's at least trying to come up with some lyrical content that's better than raising a huge middle finger to men, but also talking about how you want to have sex with them. She's kind of, I mean, it sounds ridiculous to compare anybody to Britney Spears or to Marilyn Monroe, but I do see why people compare Addison Rae to those pop culture figures, because she has the charisma. She has the performance abilities. She has like the dancing skills.
I'm Team Tate McRae all the way. That's me. I became a Tate McRae fan this year.
I don't know, like
it's the most overly produced. I love it.
It's so
and her voice is
it's so Dubai chocolate.
It is. It's Labubu Dubai chocolate, the music, and her voice is like literally. I heard her doing like in a short, like doing some like Q&A, and she sounds exactly like her singing voice. It's like weird, high, and
yeah, like
and,
weirdly
like,
nasally,
breathy and nasally. And I'm like, okay, so she actually can sing. I know that because nobody would fake that voice. If they didn't. So you know what? I'm Team Tate McRae all the way. If I had to pick a pop star of the current age.
Not Chappell Roan?
You know, Chappell Roan too.
Okay.
I both of those, and I'm also Team Zendaya now.
Why are you Team Zendaya?
I've changed my mind. I'm Team Zendaya.
Just because it's the unpopular
No.
opinion?
Somebody pointed out, like, look, for all the hate she gets, she doesn't talk about it very much, and I appreciate that.
That's true. She really doesn't talk about it at all.
Yeah, that like immediately
ever.
when somebody pointed that out, I'm like, I changed my mind right here, right now. I changed my mind. Put Zendaya in everything. I want her to be the next Bond girl. I want her to be the.
Zendaya seems genuinely happy with her life.
She's conservatives should like her theoretically because she's gonna get married.
Yeah, what the hell? When Zendaya got engaged, I didn't hear anything about how she's a trad wife.
Yeah, nobody cared.
What the heck?
Yeah, guess it's only to talk about what you think is cool, guys.
Let's finish
Let's
these
do
super
it.
chats. Leisha said, Harold and Kumar need to bust the real Dolly out of Guantanamo Bay.
She's alive. We know she's alive.
In Argentina.
I just think that video was alien.
Eazy-E said they'll never replace Dolly Parton because they don't have the balls to face the collective crusade at the outrage. Who's they, though? Grolgar said Kim can act just on her back with night vision on.
That's true.
Facts. Eazy-E said Dolly gets a pass on any work she gets done. We love her because she's our collective wholesome aunt who gives books to kids. God bless Dolly Parton. Yeah, I like her thing where she like reads stories to kids.
And she's just
better than Drag Queen Story Hour by far.
Yeah, and there's just I mean, it also helps, like, I don't want her to make statements about whether she's alive or not. Like, she benefits from not making tons of public statements.
Yeah.
It actually would have been funnier if she just let it go. Like, she's like, you know, it adds some mystery. Like, am I alive? Check for a live announcement at Dollywood tonight at 8.
It's crazy how she has gotten so much work done and still looks better than Madonna, who's probably gotten just as much work done. Like, does it just work for some people?
No, it's because she's so much older than Madonna.
Really? Is there that much
There's got to be at least
an
15
age gap?
There's got to be at least 15 to 20 years between her and
Let me
Dolly.
see.
Maybe I'm completely wrong about that.
So Dolly is 79 and Madonna...
Yeah, Madonna's like 50, or is like 60?
Madonna's 67.
Oh my God. Never mind. Then it's just the work sucks.
Yeah. She went to the wrong doctor, I guess.
Yeah.
Or maybe some people's faces are just made for it.
I mean, no. Okay. Also, like, whether people want to admit it or not, how you perceive a person will play a role into that. It's what people would talk about when they'd be like, who's the actress we'd always talk about? They'd say she's ugly and nobody wanted... Brie Larson.
Oh, yeah.
Brie Larson's ugly.
That was ridiculous. that they said
but
that.
really, it's because you think she's an ugly person. And even I fell into that trap for a while.
You called Brie Larson ugly?
I don't know if I ever said it on the show, but I probably felt that way. But to pretend like Brie Larson doesn't fit comfortably into what Hollywood considers to be conventionally attractive is silly.
Mhm.
She's just an awful person, or at least was. I don't know if she still is. Yeah.
I don't know if she's an awful person. She's just terribly annoying.
You know what it is? She's trying to do a Dakota Johnson thing, and it's not working for her.
That's so true. How does Dakota Johnson do it? How does she pull it off so well? The whole aloof thing.
As I say, you look up aloof in the dictionary. It's a
How
picture
does
of
she
Dakota
do it?
Johnson. Yeah.
She must be really content because she seems to not care if anyone thinks that she's like out of touch.
I mean, that's a skill set in that industry. Like, it works for Gwyneth Paltrow for that exact reason.
Yeah, she's so the acolyte of Gwyneth Paltrow. Now she just needs the blonde hair.
Well, they dated they
both dated Chris Martin,
yeah.
but then they broke up. Who is Chris Martin gonna date now?
You know what she should
There's no
do?
other.
She should go the meme route and date the guy who did Firefest.
What was his name?
I don't even remember his
Billy
name.
McFarland.
Yeah, that's who she should date. That can be her bad girl phase.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yep.
Or maybe she could go for a younger guy next. Perhaps.
I mean, that's conceding to age. She shouldn't do that until she's at least 10 or 15 years older.
Well, people are now like retroactively canceling Taylor for dating.
I saw that. Yeah.
Guys who were.
Well, I'm saying that's how you know that none of this is organic. I guess organic.
She was in her early 20s and she was dating guys who were like 17 to 19.
Like, that's why you know that Taylor stuff isn't as organic as you want it to be. It's like these people were just waiting for something. Like, and that's the thing. Like, I don't like when people say nice things about us. I'm like, that's nice, but I always catch it, and I always catch the mean stuff too. And the mean stuff is like, look, that's how most people are going to revert the second you start saying something they don't agree with you on. And there's plenty of people who are in the chat trolling who say mean stuff, and I'm like, you know what? That's how everybody would react the second I said something that they disagreed with.
Okay, this is pretty weird. Taylor was 22 when she started dating Connor Kennedy in 2012, shortly after he turned 17.
Okay, that's, you know.
I mean, it's weird, but I won't say that he's like a victim.
It would have been taken very differently if it was a guy and a girl.
I mean, yeah.
And it wouldn't have been socially acceptable 2 years later, for sure.
Taylor Swift was 19 when she started dating Taylor Lautner, who was 17. Okay, that's not. The only weird one, I think, was when she was dating Connor Kennedy. But she wasn't even interested in him. She just wanted to be with Kennedy. She wanted to join the family. So it really had nothing to do with him. But yeah, if I knew a 22-year-old woman dating a 17-year-old boy, I would absolutely tell her that that's creepy and strange at the very least.
There's a Rumble rant here. Can you read that username? I don't know what that says.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce your username.
You should try.
I apologize. It says, "Hi, Brett and Mary. Mary, what could possibly be more trad than singing about your fiance's private parts? Thank you for what you do."
Yeah, I guess I just wasn't. I didn't get the memo that singing about your boyfriend's penis is trad, but
Payday.
They let me know.
See
Thank
what I
you.
mean? And Rumble, Payday Pull Day says, "I think Brett needs to stick to his day job." I'm literally sticking to my day job.
You're here.
Right now. I'm at my day job.
This is our day job. Yeah. If you didn't know, it's in the middle of the day and this is our job.
And then the local Wendigo says, "Shut your whore mouth, Brett." See? They're just waiting to turn on you guys.
Okay, that reminds me, like, okay, Taylor Swift just has the perpetual victim mentality. Like, people pointed out, even when she's doing an acceptance speech for an award, she has to pretend that she's a victim. Her self-concept is that she's Carrie.
From
the
Sex and
loser
City?
nerd girl.
Oh, from the movie Carrie.
Yeah, from the movie Carrie. She's like the loser nerd girl who gets called up onto stage, and she feels like she's won it all, and then they dump the pig's blood, and she realizes she'll never be loved. But in reality, Taylor Swift is Regina George, and she's lost her army of skanks. She's lost her hot bod, and now all she needs to lose is her man candy, but I don't think she will lose her man candy.
Well, you know what? Since I am the universal contrarian, I will tell all the conservatives that they're wrong this time. That you should have loved her beforehand.
I mean, I just miss country artist Taylor Swift. That's been my take.
That's when I it was like,
consistently.
I did like a mini album review, or at least a mini review of like the songs I listened to. And I said, look, I like the stuff from, I liked Style. I Knew You Were Trouble. So I liked when she was doing stuff that was electronic in focus. And I liked her when she did country stuff, like, which was earlier on in her career. But the thing is, she would have been in that genre then forever. And what I would like to see, since she had left it, is to see her go back to it. Do an album. In fact, it's actually probably best that she didn't do it now, because it would have seen as like hopping on a trend. So what she should do is wait until Hollywood stops pretending like they care about country, and then do a country album.
Album number 13 is going to need to be outstanding because of her weird fixation on the number 13. It'll have 13 songs, and I want them to be all country songs.
And if you like or dislike an artist, you know, like, I guess it's usually best to do so based on the music itself rather than on all of the other factors, which, like I said, no person who you have no real human connection to is going to live up to whatever your expectations are.
Andy Bobandy said, no Screamy Man equals no Thrashin' Thursday. Now I'm sad. Don't be sad. Phil will be back eventually. Okay. Ivan Diaz said, one of two. Okay. Longtime listener / watcher. Depending if I'm working or after work, happy to catch you guys live. Keep up the great work. Quick question.
Well, by the way, thank you for watching, whether at work or after work. We really appreciate it.
Shout out to all the people that we don't see in the chat that much. He had a question.
Okay,
though.
go for it.
If they made a blend after with your name and picture, wouldn't it be better for you and sales for you trying it and knowing the name? I do know the name. I haven't tried it because it's in the mail on the way to us currently. But thank you for the suggestion.
Appreciate it. In the chat, Pat House says Leanne Rimes is a hoe.
What?
That is true. So, from what I remember correctly, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, this is some deep lore. She cheated on her husband with actor Eddie Cibrian, who also cheated on his wife with her, and then he was supposedly fired from CSI Miami after just one season because apparently he was like bragging about it. And then the cast was like, well, this is kind of scummy. Like, this is all secondhand information. I have no idea if any of that is true. Love Eddie Cibrian as an actor. He was great in Third Watch. But yeah, and Leanne Rimes, of course, in the masterpiece that was Coyote Ugly.
I don't remember Coyote Ugly. I just remember hating it.
I loved Coyote Ugly.
It was so boring.
It was so awesome.
It wasn't even bad. It was just boring.
It was amazing.
Brad Stevens said, just finished playing Assassin's Creed 2... what is this? Assassin's Creed Rogue. And I'd play the hell out of that game. Historically, they were Dems anyway.
Yeah, that was the joke that somebody made. They said, "Oh, so a Republican goes on a rampage because you know, somebody's going to hit you with the party switch theory."
Yeah, Dinesh D'Souza, if you can hear us. Lancer said, I don't think they can make a CWAC. What does that mean? CWAC. Because,
I think it means Civil War Assassin's Creed.
Oh, because he would have to be a Confederate, as the Assassins hate Catholics like the Confederates and Democrats.
See, we got the people with the deep lore in the analysis. Thank you guys.
Pat the Plumber said, Brett, did you enjoy anti-Semite
misogynist
cast last night? Did you have some splaining to do when you got home? LOL.
I had no explaining to do when I got home, but it went.
But did you have splaining?
I had no splaining to do, but it went about how you'd expect that episode to go.
Damn, was it that crazy?
It was, not my cup of tea. But
all right.
It was fine. I had fun, but it was like there was a lot of what you'd call very broad generalizations that are used as tools in these types of discussions to make sweeping generalizations that are very hard to refute, because basically you fall into the trap of being like, well, I know this person and these people that are nothing like this, and they're like, oh, but you don't understand the idea of a generalization. But they make the generalization knowing that it's like impossible to push back on. And it was just,
were they open to your perspective?
I mean, I didn't push back a whole ton on it other than certain parts of it, but it was just like a lot of it had to do when they were talking about the the Israel-Hamas peace deal, and it's just like, my point is like, I don't really care. America shouldn't be involved anyways, and for the most part, I do believe a lot of this stuff is just it's like in a lot of ways a vehicle for Trump to get his Nobel Peace Prize, and I'd rather we just weren't in the Middle East at all, and I'm sick of spending money and time there. But that's not the point of the discussion last night. Yeah, the point is they were based like Israel's going to go back on the deal, and look, they're not even necessarily wrong, as we've seen historically with a lot of this stuff. But that wasn't the point. The point was like there was a lot of overt generalizations that whatever.
You said yesterday before IRL, like, don't you think you would be a better fit? Because
Well, I mean, I didn't know it was going to go that way. I thought there was like because it was more because Seamus was there, and Shane is. You guys are all Catholic. And I was like, wouldn't you be a better fit for this? Because there was multiple times where people had Superchats or stuff where they're like for the Catholics on the panel, and like Seamus was gone in the post show, so it's like for the Catholic on the panel, which was just Shane, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not a Catholic, but okay.
And then you said Myron Gaines was there. Yeah, maybe if I showed up, we would all just gang up on Myron Gaines and convert him to Catholicism.
The Seamus said he had to leave before like the show even started. He's like, I can't stay for the post show. They were gonna originally ask Tate to come on, but it was like Myron made some really, really great insights when they were talking about the stuff about immigration, because he used to work in that field. He worked for ICE, so he was able to give me a lot of information that I found really, really interesting. But that's just not where the conversation spent most of the time. But I would have loved to have heard more about that.
How do you go from working for ICE to the Fresh and Fit podcast? Like, that's
quite
a life.
It's the ICE to Manosphere pipeline, and it needs to be studied.
Yeah. The DJ Foy said the Aussie Hollywood event happens every year. It's called G'day USA. It's a marketing event to promote filming in Australia, part of why we have 3 large studio lots and 4 minor across the country. So it's an event hosted in the USA to promote the US like making less money on the film industry. That kind
he worked for DHS. I'm sorry. He worked for Department of Homeland Security.
Okay. Shane H. Wilder said, remember, they're Hollywood types. They don't grow up.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, that's the big thing is like they love like the Nicole Kidman is not the Nicole Kidman at a Charlie XCX concert is not the exception. It's the rule.
I mean, you could go to a Charlie XCX concert and also
be an adult
your age.
Yeah. She's there like, why are the kids all dressed like this?
Yeah. Corey Anderson said, if you want to play a historically accurate game, play Walden the Game. You play as Henry David Thoreau while he spends a year in seclusion at the pond.
Okay.
Interesting. Wyatt Kaldenberg said, all men, except for me, have a sexual decline with age. Add on all the plastics in young men's bodies. Keith could have low T. Men are in decline. Well, that's the real culprit in this divorce. Yeah. Keith Urban needs to get on TRT.
That's what he needs to do.
Right. Corey Anderson said it's baby time.
Like the Justin Bieber song? Like, am I supposed to start singing Baby by Justin Bieber? Because I'm not doing that.
Shane H. Wilder said, Swift is trad, sure, because trad women sing about their fiance's duck. Seems more like she's trying to code switch for the Sabrina Carpenter crowd. I agree.
That's not code. Like, I'm so sick of the term code switching. You're just lying. Like, when they talk about, like, Kamala Harris code switching, like, be whoever you are when there's no camera.
Thank you. Well, I know it's like a dumb term, but it's being used in a joking way now. Thank you, guys. And a politician is never going to be who they are on camera, like the way that they are off camera.
Anybody, you should.
I'm not the way I am
at the
on
very
camera
least,
as I am off.
You should talk to people as close to how you normally talk to them as possible, right? On Rumble, it's T. Hutig. That's how you pronounce it. T. Hutig. It's my first initial with my last name. The numbers are my birth date. The email username I set up like 10 years ago. I'll switch it on Rumble to make life easier for y'all. Yeah, like literally anything to make my life easier. Who sucks at reading?
That'd be great.
Antonius Block. I don't know how to pronounce the rest of it. Says Myron was the only one making generalizations. It was definitely like it was a discussion that I would not normally ever be a part of for most of it, outside of the immigration discussion, which I at least pay some close attention to because it's such a big topic here. But foreign policy is one of those things where it's just like you have to have like a lot of interest in talking about foreign policy. And you have to do a lot of research into like the history of the world and the history of conflict, and everybody's throwing around names and dates, and I'm like, yeah, that all could be true. You could be making that up. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, and that's like in today's day and age, we do live in a post-reality world where I'm just like, look, I don't know what's real anymore. And on issues that are hypercharged, like what's going on in Israel and Palestine, do I believe both sides have an incentive to lie? Yeah, absolutely. In an information war, they absolutely do. Or at the very least, lie by omission, lie by obfuscation. There's a million reasons for that to happen. I have my general opinions on these concepts, but for the most part, it's not like I'm not the person for it, which is why I was more interested in the discussion on immigration, or even the discussion on the terrorist attack, or the attempted terrorist attack outside of the library or wherever that was happening last night. Like, that was interesting. The rest of it's all like, bro, like I'm going for a coffee.
Did you?
No.
Shane H. Wilder said, one song they did not show that was blatant is Father Figure, which sounds so close to George Michael's Father Figure that he was given writing credit. Well, it might have been an intentional sample in that case.
And sampling has been going on for decades.
Dingus Khan of Gongolia said, just found out Taylor Swift is very distantly related to Travis Kelce. Seriously, Google it. What?
Okay.
How distantly are we talking?
But
What's going on? Greg Duvier said Taylor Swift was never country, I think. Oh, country.
She was never in my county. I don't know.
Nah, she was a country artist, just not the kind that you like.
So my favorite is, I don't remember what concert it was. It was like the first time she ever did Should Have Said No live. And I particularly love it because it's not very good.
She was a terrible singer for a while.
So here's the thing about it. So in the performance, it might have been like the CMAs or something in like 2006. She's performing it, and it's not good. It's very not good, and it's endearing. The problem is, like, when the song hits its like midway like bridge, rain starts coming down on her, and you see her, if you pay attention, she switches the mic out to like the guitar players there to like distract you while somebody hands her a different mic. Suddenly, when she starts singing it, it's perfect. And it's the most noticeable thing in the entire world. And you think her dancing is bad now. It was so much worse back then. And I love it. It's endearing. It was like when she got done, everybody was probably like, that was fantastic. And she watches it back now and she's like,
she dances like one of those blow up dolls outside of the car dealership.
Yeah. Basically, she was like a wacky, waveable, inflatable tube person. She's like,
right.
and I loved it.
Bomb just said, so it would have been a freed slave taking out Democrats. Yeah, I don't think it would be the right who is upset with that. I disagree. I think that they were correct to anticipate backlash from the right, honestly. And I think it would have been justified because, in my opinion, it's really just a fantasy about killing white people, and they believe that modern day Republicans are basically KKK members. They don't think that there's a distinction. So, yeah. Greg Duvier.
It was the ACM Awards in 2006. It's still there. I guess that's the Academy of Country Music Awards.
I love her outfit that she wore at the CMAs in 2006.
Was that like when she met Tim McGraw after making the song Tim McGraw?
Maybe.
Hold on, you have to at least listen to the beginning. So if I keep pausing it, it won't copyright me.
To think the songs we used to sing, the smiles, the flowers, everything.
Okay, it's not that bad.
But it's not as polished as it is now. Like it's.
Well, she doesn't do these things.
She still does that in here a little bit even. Like.
Little pitchy dog, little pitchy.
I love it. It's good.
And then this is the dance part.
And then wait, so then she. And the dancing is really bad if you
She's
watch
barefoot?
it. She looks like she's got flats on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't the best for her.
It's charming though.
But it was charming because it was earlier in her career.
Greg Duvier said country music died in the early 2000s. I think that's a hot take. I disagree. I think there are a lot of good country artists still. Wyatt Coldenberg said...
Okay, here was the moment that I was looking for. It's really funny. Look at, like...
That?
She looks like she's at a rock concert more than she's trying to dance. But I imagine that the water was just very cold.
She used to be
How
a
tall
human
is she?
being.
Somebody says, isn't she like 5'11"? She's tall, right?
Yeah, she's like just under 6 feet tall.
Okay.
And in heels, I'm sure she's gargantuan.
Like, imagine you're like, I hate your music.
Yeah, like, no.
Like, it's just like you're any guy who's like under 6 feet is just like. By the way, that came up yesterday because I like I looked at the clip of AOC talking about short kings, where she made fun of, I don't even remember who it was, and then she had to try to like
Stephen Miller.
She had to try to liberal logic her way around it, which she failed at completely.
You mean spiritually 6'1",
which is still telling you that being tall is better. So she's still wrong.
Yeah.
But the point I said
I'd love to know her fiance's height.
I said I'm spiritually 5'9", which means I said I'm spiritually average.
Or it means you're like mildly misogynistic.
Because the average male in America is 5'9". I'm spiritually 5'9". And then somebody said, like, I think you're actually like 3'4". I said, that's my actual height.
Yeah, that was cringy. Like, how can you have videos like that of yourself online and think that you can make a presidential bid? You know, is that very presidential?
I mean, their argument is that Trump destroyed the need for that to exist anymore.
Wyatt Coldenberg said Taylor Swift needs to do a death metal LP. I said she needs to do a Taylor's drunk version of this new album, and that all will be forgiven. Shane H. Wilder.
I have pinned a message from Robert Redmond who says like Brett can't read cast. I mean, if I ever have my own show, that's what it's going to be called.
You didn't read it. You weren't reading anything.
Brett can't read cast.
The Rumble thing? I couldn't read that. Shane H. Wilder said last night got so rough that Seamus walked out.
No, he was
had enough.
He was already planning to be done.
Greg Duvier said last night IRL was to blame women in Israel.
Yeah, it felt that way.
High Voltage 75 said, Brett, if you had to do one, watch only that Kim Kardashian show for a week, or eat nothing but seafood for a week.
I'd watch the Kim Kardashian show.
I think you'd have a great time with it, honestly.
I'd probably enjoy it, to be honest.
You'd learn to love it. Yeah. Bryan Bledsoe. Maybe you should. Give us a review.
Maybe I will.
You're into legal dramas.
I mean...
It's technically a legal drama, and...
I don't know if I can do it with
you can learn to like it.
The, you know, all of the swearing and the over-the-top, like... But the thing is, like, the things I like have to involve likable characters, and there wasn't a single likable character there.
Maybe not that you saw. Maybe you have to give it a chance to find out.
Maybe there's one.
Bryan Bledsoe said, Dolly Parton, yes, and I stand on that. I don't know what that means. Shane H. Wilder said, since it's October, can we get a she's a wicked witch who belongs in hell?
It's been a while since we've heard that one.
Yeah. When did I even say... Oh, I think it was always me referencing that Truth Social post from Trump about Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah.
But yeah. She's a wicked witch who belongs in hell!
It needs this when you do it. Like...
Who belongs in hell! Yep. Yeah, there you go.
All right.
You got what you wanted, right?
There you go. All right, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video, please, and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. Remember to share the content out with everybody. We really appreciate it. Mary, where can they find you?
You guys can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived. And help me get TikTok famous. That is also Mary Archived. And of course, if you have not done so already, go grab yourself a bag of Mary's Ghost Blend, the s'mores flavor medium roast coffee on castbrew.com for the Halloween season. It's absolutely perfect.
There you go. Guys, if you want to follow me, I'm on Instagram and X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. The show is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, noon Pacific. Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you would like to listen rather than just watch this show, you can rate and review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, which always helps us out as well. If you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twix at PopCulture_show, Facebook at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Mary, there's 2 more there.
High Voltage 75 said, wow, you must really hate seafood.
I do.
For shame.
I do.
Greg Duvier said, I like turtles.
I like turtles.
And Shane H. Wilder said, thank you. You saved me time trying to find the clip. LOL. Yeah, I like it. It's cathartic for me.
Perfect. All right, guys, with all that being said, we will be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.